Hey guys, we're back on armor again this week, taking a look at Tamiya's 1/48 scale M1A2 Abrams kit. Let's open her on up. So, in typical Tamiya fashion, the Aural quality of the kit is quite nice. It's not a whole lot I can, really go out of my way and say. One thing to note is they do include this nice textured upper surface on the turret. Everything's nicely scaled. One exception being these container parts, which unfortunately could be smaller for 48 scale. But that's one of those things you'd have to go photo etch to get properly scaled. Overall, very nicely done. Most of the turret parts and various other components to build that up are included on this sprue, as well as some of the optics, various crew stations. Moving on, one thing they did do is mold the suspension on. This is a bit of a, double-edged sword in that on the one hand, it means you can't have it accurately look as though it's going over terrain. But at the same time, it does make it so if you are positioning it more or less on a level, as if it were on a level surface, that does make getting these exactly right much easier. Similarly, we also build up the lower hull in a little bit an interesting way, having us build these parts onto the main underside and then go from there. Again, nicely textured surface on the upper hull part. All the small compartments and whatnot are unfortunately molded on, including the driver's hatch, which would have been nice had they done a separate part. So if you wanted to have the driver's compartment opened, or possibly even have the driver popped out, that would have been nice. Moving on, we got our single figure that comes with this for the commander, which is very nicely done. They did a very nice job molding him. Additionally, the back detail on the rear of the lower hull, they did very well. Now, the machine gun, fortunately, is a little sparse on detailing, but given the small scale it is, it's forgivable. But it would have been nice had they did a little more with it. And that we also have our main gun on the sprue, as well as some of the detailing parts. Next up, we've got a double sprue containing all of our wheels and as well as our treads. Now, I don't know why they did this little odd thing there, as it's on both parts, but they engineered these tracks very nicely in a way that will make it easy to assemble. And that's overall a very smart engineering, with us having our lower and upper sections and various other parts done out, so that the only part you really need to do any shaping with are going to be around the wheels and the turn sprocket. So yeah, that was a nice inclusion. Now, interestingly, and I don't know why they did this, they include a weight. I've never needed a weight for any type of armor I've built, so yeah, that's an oddball one. So if somebody happens to know why, please message me in the comments. I'd love to know. Now, another area where this kit shines is the decals. While you only have markings for two vehicles, the quality of the decals are very nice. Tamiya did a very great job reproducing them. They're sharp and properly registered. So yeah, good job Tamiya there. Let me get these back in. Now, moving on to the build. As I said, you build up from the lower hull Overall, it's not a complicated build. The only area that might cause some trouble is getting the treads correctly done. But outside of that, it's pretty straightforward. My one complaint would be, where was it? There was a section on the turret. If I can find the, here we go. For some of the detail parts that to go on require you to drill out holes. It would have been nice had they molded those holes on. Here we go. As mentioned here, just because getting those properly aligned is going to be a little bit of a challenge. But on those two things, it's a pretty basic kit, so not a whole lot of difficulty there. As I mentioned before, only marking options for 2 different tanks. Would be nice if they included some additional options, but is what it is. So that was a look at Tamiya's 1/48 scale M1A2 Abrams kit. If I can get the box back on. Overall, they did a nice job for this scale. Granted, I'm more preferential to 1/35 scale. I picked this up for a group build for the club I'm in. But overall, Tamiya did a bang-up job with this kit. Now, there's a couple of minor things I think they would have been nice had they done differently, but no, it's not too bad. So, yeah, that's one thing to look forward to. Also, is I do plan to have this as part of a full build project, as I mentioned, for a club group build. So, look forward to that. Until next time.